Well, this is the DenverSportsBetting.com preview of the UFC on ESPN Plus 30, sponsored by the MMA Plug. Ron Kruck and Jordan Kurtz with you. The co-main event, Jordan, at UFC on ESPN Plus 30 is a key matchup in the middleweight division between Kelvin Gastelum and Jack Hermansson, the Joker. Current odds for this co-main event from Denver Sports Betting and Bet Rivers. Gastelum, who comes in with a 16-5 record. He is the favorite at -125. Slight underdog is Hermansson, who comes in at +100. Very close, even odds. But Hermansson comes in with a 20-5 record for the fighter from Oslo, Norway. Let's see. Gastelum, Jordan, is on a 2-fight losing streak that started with a title fight loss to current champ Israel Adesanya, followed by a very razor-thin split decision defeat at the hands of Darren Till. No gray area here. Gastelum needs a win to stay relevant in this stacked middleweight division. Hermansson is also looking to rebound following a loss that snapped a 4-fight win streak. Has been fighting very well, has wins over Jacare Souza, David Branch, and Tally's Ladies. Jordan, despite the recent losses for both these fighters, they remain two 185-pounders that are top contenders in this division.
Absolutely. You know, Kelvin, I personally don't see as someone that's really lost a ton of stock. I still hold to the fact that I think if Kelvin could beat his biggest opponent that he's ever had to face, which is his own appetite, that he could be a world champion.
I was going to say dinner, or I'm with you.
And he self-admittedly has said it. He even came out with the parody to Despacito, talking about how he loves burritos and Doritos. You know, the entire song that parodied it. He went full Weird Al Yankovic on it.
Yeah, he did.
I think that he has that sort of caliber of skill. I mean, when he first broke onto the scene, I believe it was 21 years old. He was the youngest person ever to win the Ultimate Fighter back in the day when he was on in the Jones versus Sonnen season. Uriah Hall was pegged from the very beginning to be the winner of that season, and Kelvin actually pulled off the upset. So he has been able to perform at a very, very high level from an early point within his career. Mm-hmm. I think that Kelvin gets it done. Obviously we know that he's coming fresh off of the the USADA sanction because he likes a little bit of reefer in the mix. Mm-hmm. But I feel like when we're talking all things considered with what other people get busted for in terms of drug tests, having some THC in your system is not something to really be alarmed about when there's people that have been tested for clomiphene or some of these other anabolic compounds.
True.
I don't put too much stock into that from the Kelvin side of things.
Yeah.
Hermansson he's an incredible talent. What he did to Jacare was phenomenal.
Impressive.
I just don't know. It was very impressive, and maybe it's, calling me that I'm a little bit of a homer, that I've followed Kelvin for so long since watching him on The Ultimate Fighter. I think that Kelvin gets himself back in the winner's circle. And it's not to slight Hermansson by any means. I just think that Kelvin has the it factor. He's not going to be the prettiest. He's not going to be the best grappler. He's not going to be the biggest power puncher, but he will be good in every single one of those areas.
That's a really good point. For my take, Hermansson has really relied heavily on submissions, has a solid ground and pound game, and he will be the bigger middleweight in this fight in terms of reach and in height. His stand-up is decent, but I think Gastelum's sharp boxing and striking power could be the difference in this one. While Gastelum has lost to some really good strikers in his recent fights, I don't think Hermansson's has the punching power that Gastelum has had to deal with in his last few fights. So in many ways, I think Gastelum is at a crossroads in his career. He needs a W more than Hermansson does. Gastelum has faced the top competition, as we spoke about, just recently in champion Adesanya and Until. And with his back against the wall, I see Kelvin coming out firing in this one. I think he'll get inside and be able to avoid the Swede's longer reach. And I think that Gastelum, who used sharp combos, I think he ekes out a close win in this one.
I would have to say that that's probably a pretty good bet as to how it might go. It'll be a close fight, but I do see Kelvin pulling it off.
And again, the current odds from Denver Sports Betting and Bet Rivers as of this recording had Gastelum as the slight favorite at -125, and Hermansson comes back at a +100.